Holy smokes, guys. Here we go again. GameStop, AMC, and costs are all on a massive run this afternoon after hours. We saw these stocks get squeezed into massive gains going into the market close today, and after hours, they're all up massively as of the time of this recording. We're going to jump into my computer here. We're going to talk a little bit about where the stocks are at right now, and where they're possibly going, and what's causing all of this action, and what's going to happen over the next couple days. So without further ado, let's just jump into my computer and get right after it. All right, guys, so we're here in the stock charts. Let's take a look at this. Let's actually scroll in here. So you can see that we had a massive squeeze going into the closing hours on the market here today. Let's go down. We're going to look at the 1 minute chart here. We want to go down to 1 day, and we're going to scroll over here and look at what we have. So the stock, I mean, just look at this volume. The volume was pretty flat throughout the day. At least in the early parts of the day, we're 122,000, 116, 138, 296, and right here it just explodes. I mean, 593,000, 601,000, 658, 1,160,000, 886,000, just going crazy here into the closing hours of the market. Right here, hitting a high of 2.2 million on the volume. So that's absolutely nuts. The stock price got up to about $82. It's traded flat for a little bit into the after hours market, and now look at it. It has shot up massively, hitting a intra-day, intra-hour, intra-after hours high of $197 per share. This is absolutely insane to see how much it's running up and how much it has gone crazy after hitting $53 earlier today. I mean, this is almost a 4x on your money if you bought in right here and sold out right here. This is something I saw. I just happened to log into my Webull account and saw, the chart basically go like this on GME. I thought, uh-oh, here we go again. What's going on? Because if you look at it right here, I mean, it was just insane looking at this volume and looking at this trajectory. So I got in, I said, hey, I'm going to buy one share just to see what happens, see where we go. So I got in here at roughly like 112, somewhere in here, and saw it climb back up, and I'll be honest, I already sold out. I sold out at about 184, made a quick $70. It was just for a little fun, just something to kind of play the rally, see where it goes, and see, what could happen with GME. So right now we're trading at roughly $144 per share. We're still seeing a relatively good amount of volume, somewhere for after hours anyway, 282,000, 244, 291 here at the peak. And then right now we've kind of settled down and we're trading at roughly, 50 to 100,000, give or take, on the minute for volume here. So just insane amounts of volume here. Let's take a look at AMC as well. AMC is kind of tracking what GME is doing as well. This was at a low of, roughly, let's see if we come back over here. I mean, it was roughly down to 757 during the day, and we saw the same volume just a couple minutes after GameStop. Same volume ticked up, a lot of buying going up to about 950, dropped down a little bit, and then hitting a high of 1135, and now it's trading at roughly $10. So, I mean, this is just insane. Looking at costs, the same thing. If we zoom out a little bit here, you can see massive amounts of volume, not quite as much volume going into after hours here, but still a very big run up, almost doubling on the share price right there. So that's what's happening here. I want to jump over to a couple of news articles. Let me bring these over here, and let's actually take a look at what's causing this. GameStop stock halted twice as shares jump over 100% today. If you thought the ongoing situation around GameStop's stock was over, then think again. Look at this cute little dog. That's pretty cute. The stock was on fire today, soaring over 100% and being halted twice in the process. The market closed at 4 p.m., of course, ending the day at a valuation of $91. Of course, it went up even higher than that, doubling from there at one point in after hours. So obviously we know that there was a shift around in the executive team with GameStop. This was announced, I think, a couple of days ago. So if I come over here to Yahoo Finance, it says rallied hard. A lot of the same information we've got here. On Wednesday, Redditors on the subforum were been discussing, that's a typo, so I can't read it, discussing the upcoming exit of GameStop CFO Jim Bell. I read a report that said he did not leave willingly. It was more so that the board of directors kind of lost faith in him and his ability to lead the company in a good direction. So they're doing some changes here with the GameStop executive team. The company announced that Bell will be stepping down in March and is going to be replaced at some point. GameStop was recently at the center of a congressional hearing, which was, I believe, last week. And, this was obviously a big hearing, and the price was sitting at roughly, $40 to $50 over the last week or so before just absolutely exploding here today. So let's jump over here. GameStop and AMC stocks spike anew as Reddit struggles to stay online. Yeah, Reddit's been down as of the time it's recording, so there's not a lot of information that we can pull out of there. I don't know if that's related or something unrelated, but something to note there. Stocks more than doubled. Shares ended up the day 103.9% at $91. since plunging from more than $200 to $90 on February 2nd. So I think this is what, what's happening here is that there's probably going to be, or that already is happening. It's another short squeeze, right? I mean, it's a classic short squeeze. Obviously, short interest, when you look at the stock, is much lower than it was, back before this whole crazy thing started, but it could be another short squeeze. This is how you get a stock running up so quickly. You get a lot of interest. You get a lot of people saying, hey, here we go again. Let's run up. A lot of people buy in. I mean, I bought one share. I'm not going to move the needle, but when you get millions of people who are potentially watching this and seeing this, crazy amounts of volume, it's going to get pushed up. People are going to buy in and, go for another wild ride thinking that, hey, maybe it'll go to 400, maybe it'll go to 1,000 this time, just like we expected last time. There's a lot of people still holding the stock. And so when, volume goes up significantly, but maybe the flow isn't entirely there because of so many people holding, that can easily push the stock up very quickly. And add on top of that, the fact that you've got a lot of short interest in the stock still, I would imagine that the short interest has to be higher in some way or another than what is showing out there, because after a rally like this, there's a lot of people getting in and saying, hey, I still think GameStop has a way to go before, it goes bankrupt or whatever. There's going to be a lot of people who say, okay, we went through this wild ride. We had the short squeeze. We're getting back in. We're shorting the stock. We're going to make some money on this because it is going to continue to sink down further and further and further. And so I think this is a popular, a classic case of like, look, people got back into their short positions, and now we saw this short squeeze push GME to the moon again. Absolutely insane that it went up 4x from where it was during the day. At least at one point, right? Jumping back over here to my computer, trading app, it says Robinhood will be doing an upgrade to our systems. Buying in some stocks might be limited. This is very, very interesting. I don't know if there's any coincidence here or if this is related, but very interesting that this comes out at 2:34 here on February 24th saying, hey, some stocks might be limited tomorrow. Maybe GME is going to be one of those. We will see if that has anything to do with the upgrades to Robinhood's system. That's something very interesting that I just saw here. We'll have to see if that's going to be something we should expect. It says the company said Wednesday afternoon that trading in some stocks will be limited and is headed for its own outage. Very interesting news here, guys. This is absolutely insane. I can't believe where this is at. I just want to jump over here to Webull one more time. Let's take a look at GameStop again and see where we're at. Okay, so we're kind of sitting in that same range. We've been at 148. We're coming down here to 142. So it's been kind of trading pretty flat. I would not be surprised to see this run up again. Possibly it fizzles out. I would not be surprised to see it, basically just be here for a minute and then shoot up again, upwards of $200. It's going to be really interesting to see where this is at tomorrow when options open up. I think that right here, this happened so quick. All of this happened within 45 minutes, from 15:15 to 1600. All of this was in 45 minutes. A lot of people, unless you're like a day trader, you're watching this stock throughout the day. A lot of people might not have even heard of this. I just happened to log in right here on my Robinhood or my Webull account, which, by the way, get your free stocks if you haven't already done so. I just happened to log in right here and saw that it was running up, and I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. And I just got in. I just started watching it, and for the last hour, I've been just watching this very closely. So this is something that's just absolutely insane to see. I would not be surprised to see this shoot up again going into tomorrow when the options open up. I think there's going to be some people who say, hey, this could be the next thing. We're going to buy options. They're going to buy calls. People are going to buy puts. People are going to sell out of options that they already had. It will be very interesting to see what happens when the options market opens back up. This is just absolutely insane. Let's look at the volume here. Okay, so we're seeing volume of roughly 40 to 50,000 right in here. Very much lower than we saw back here, where we're getting 200,000, 233, 270, 330, 307, 250, 300,000. We're obviously much higher now. We're down from that pretty significantly. So it'll be interesting to see where this stock goes over the next little bit. But with all that said, guys, this is just absolutely insane. Let me know what you're doing. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you're doing with the stock. Let me know if you're going to buy in, if you're going to sell it, if you're going to short it, if you're going to buy call options, if you're going to YOLO everything, get those tendies. Let me know. I'd love to hear what you're looking to do on this stock. And with that said, I'll catch you in the next one.